welcome to Redfield Gaming. My name is Speedcube, and here we are with a fresh playthrough of Them and Us, an indie survival horror featuring zombies and mansions and those kind of things from Tendo Games. And this could be the unofficial Resident Evil 1 remake that we have been hoping for. It is absolutely not a Resident Evil 1 remake, but there are heavy influences of Resident Evil 1 in here, and 4 to some extent. And some people are saying that there's also influences from Silent Hill. I don't really see Silent Hill in this myself, but I do see Alone in the Dark, New Nightmare. And if you're familiar with any of those games, you'll see what I mean. I'm going to start a new game. I'm going to do it on easy mode. And the reason why I'm doing it on easy mode is because for the first time I'm going to be doing this on fixed camera mode with tank controls. Normally I play with mouse and keyboard over the shoulder, which is just like Resident Evil 2 or 3 remake. Fixed camera mode is, your old school approach. It's not exactly fixed, it's more like your kind of Code Veronica semi-fixed. But of course tank controls as well on a controller. It is my least preferred method, but I want to experience it because there's an achievement for doing it on this fixed camera angle mode, just like there is for doing it in the over the shoulder mode as well. One thing I will say is the controls are very familiar and very comfortable as well. I had to do no controller configuration to set this up before starting. It's very much kind of all the button actions are in the right place on the controller. You can even use the D-pad as well as the analog stick, something I find isn't always the case with some indie games. But everything is kind of exactly where I felt personally it should be. I don't know if you've got any different thoughts if you're playing this yourself. So there's an intro that happens before the main menu where I started this run. Oops, I've turned around because the screen's so dark at the moment. I'm playing it during the day, which is terrible because there's light on the screen. And that intro shows Alicia, our character. She's in prison. It looks like she's getting a prison transfer. The bus crashes and aggressive zombie-like. Everyone turns into an aggressive zombie-like kind of person, and that's why we're in this crash. Or so we're meant to believe, anyway.
What is this place?
So I mentioned in the description that this is going to be retro visual mode. At the moment, as you can probably see, this looks pretty modern in terms of graphical style. There's two things I need to do. First of all, I need to give myself the low poly character model, which I'm going to do in a second. And also, to change the overall graphics into a more pixelated PS1 style, I need to find a TV in the mansion that we are in, which isn't too far away, but I'll have to get there first. So I've just found the first bit of healing. All we get is a piddly little bandage, the weakest type of healing in the game, but it will take us out of red and stop us from stumbling about. Also take the screwdriver shaft. Let me just change those clothes. Plenty of costumes here, including the DLC. I'm going to go for the retro costume, which I think looks fantastic, but it's also somewhat lower poly. Not complete low poly, but will fit in wonderfully when we change the pixels, or when we add the pixelation, I should say. Right, I'll pick up the knife. You probably see there that I've only got 2 inventory slots. We need to find a backpack to get the other 4, and later on we get a belt pouch, which will give us the remaining 2 to give us a total of 8. So to leave this room, we'll use the knife on the door. And for the first part of the game, we've got kind of a small, I would say half a mansion, but probably a third of the mansion. Maybe half, third, I don't know. A portion of the mansion to explore. Like Resident Evil 1, we come back later on, and there's more things to do. Enemies are tougher, etc. We can't combine items straight into our inventory, so I just needed to drop the knife there. I'll pick the knife up again for now. I'm not even sure if I'm going to use it. I'll talk a bit more about the knife in a bit. We'll use the screwdriver there to get inside. So I've been playing this since version 0.8. The game, when the game's in early access, it's now 1.0. The game is now complete, but the developers have left the game in early access to allow community to sort of feed back on it, see if there's any more bugs that need ironing out. There's a lot of complex mechanics to this game from a storyline perspective. There's loads of different endings and different choices the player can make, sometimes inadvertently, to influence those endings, and naturally that will come with its fair share of players discovering bugs. So unlike zombies in Resident Evil 2 and 3 remakes, if you played those zombies tend to have kind of tractor beam style grab lunge attack. Zombies in this are generally easier to get around. You watch this, I'm going to go straight into the zombie now. You can... Fixed camera angle means I can't really see where he is. They don't tend to lunge for you until you sort of pull away from them, which is interesting. So on higher difficulties, where is he? Can't see in the darkness. On higher difficulties, you can go right up to them, turn away, sort of juke them, and they'll lunge for you and you can get around them. On easy mode, I tend to find that doesn't seem to be actually possible to bait them. So more or less, as long as you don't run into them, you can run around them. The developers, Tendo Games, I think I've heard people say they're a team of 4. You could say that this game has a certain kind of AAA polish to it in a way. Maybe not AAA, but it is done on the Unreal Engine 3 and looks great. Plays great as well. So I need to make a bit of room in my inventory here. I'm talking about this game like I know what I'm doing. I've completed it a couple of times, but I've certainly got a lot still to learn about it. And this is by no means going to be like a no damage run or anything like that. Certainly not that that would be an achievement on easy mode. Right, so I think we got the key. Yes, we did. So I don't think on the map keys on over the shoulder mode, doors that you get keys for flash so you know what they're for. I'm kind of trying to go on memory here. It's been a while since I've actually played it now, so I'm not as familiar with it as I once was. I've seen people speedrun this game in an hour and a bit, maybe an hour and 20. So it's not this one, is it? I think it might... Oh, I know what. I think it was for... Yeah. It was for the library. My first playthrough on normal mode over the shoulder took me 15 hours. This one. Antimony key. I think I might have called it the Minerva key earlier. I can't remember. I don't know why. So that zombie you can hear shuffling about is from upstairs. He's not in this room. This room's empty down here. So there's a gun in here, and I've got to push the case all the way up to beneath a balcony where this ladder is. And then I need to find a way to break it. I wonder what I'm going to do to it. There's also, here's our backpack. That will allow us to carry 6 items. And I think that is the doorknob we need, yep, to repair the door upstairs. Oh, tank controls, bless them. They do create additional tension because you're stumbling about with the controls going, oh. But I'm planning to do a hard mode run after this with over the shoulder. Let's see. There we go. So this is the room where we can change the graphical style as well, which is the first thing I'm going to do. There we go. Feel like I'm back in the PS1 era now. The old keys are similar to Resident Evil 1 that Chris would find. There's no lockpick in this as such, but the old keys will open some of the smaller locked doors around the mansion. There's 3 in total, I think. We need 2 for this part of the run. I've got the Neptune key. What's this? Handgun ammo. We'll start stocking up on some of that. On over-the-shoulder mode, the prompts to interact with the room stand out with like yellow kind of circles or symbols, yellow, white circles. But here, most of the time, because some items do kind of flash like that on the sofa there, but we have to look at where Alicia is looking to be able to kind of really know where things are. It is designed to be a harder mode, this. Can't quite see where that zombie is. There he is. We'll just run him around. We'll come back out onto the balcony where we were a minute ago. There's these, you will probably completely miss it for the first time, but there are these vinyl records. These are your ink ribbons. These allow you to save. And here's our first save room. I'm not going to save it at this point. On easy mode, the record is not used when you use it. You can basically, you've got infinite uses. So I'll just leave it on the floor for now. What on earth is that glowing on the... Oh, it's like a bit of a bug. Not quite worked out the significance of this crystal ball. And that's the gramophone where you use the record. Now we've got to get past this dude. Oh, suddenly went a lot faster than I was expecting him to. They're not supposed to be this fast on easy mode. There's a zombie that way over there, so we're going to come this way. And I need to push this. All these little nods to Resident Evil. And once again, we're going to push it down onto the gun case that we moved up against the ladder earlier. Just grab a hang. Oh, it's another old key. That's 2 old keys. Those are the 2 we need. And we can bring this ladder down so we can get up and down easily. What I really should do at some point is create an area where I can store items. There is an item box later on, but for the moment we have to drop things like Resident Evil 0. So I'm just going through my head where I need these to drop on for now. Need the Venus key, and we also need the gun. The gun. Got to remember there's an old key. How many old keys? I've got 1 old key, which I'm just going to use. Got to remember there's 1 in here, which I know I'm going to forget. Is that a heart? That's some intestines. That zombie there, behind him is a desk that you can open, and there is a full health kit in there. We're not going to bother with that right now. Health is okay. I'm going to use one of the keys on here. We'll come back to that one in a minute. And I think I'm going to go this way first, to the main hall. There's another save room in here. Good place to kind of dump stuff because it's by the front door of the mansion where we'll be leaving in a little bit. Another vinyl disc there, which we don't need. Bullets. Now I've got to do a runner. I think I have to go up here. What I'm looking for is a note. I don't think it's that. I think that's a vinyl disc. Quite see it. Where is it? Here it is. And we have to get this note because this makes us aware of the kitchen clock, where this is one of the kind of puzzle clues. We can't actually do that, interact with it until we've read that note. Picking up stuff off zombies normally brings them to life. Something just to bear in mind. Whoa. At least we've all got them on that side of the room now. Apart from that one. To be honest, you get enough ammunition, you could just take them all out on this mode particularly. But yeah, not gonna bother for now. I'm gonna save it. I'm trying to sort of learn best ways to get past it. Maybe I should take some of these guys out, to be honest, before I get myself killed. There, headshots. You can mix bandages with ointment, it makes them stronger. A bit like combining herbs in Res Evil. So because we looked at that note, we can now see this note here. We have to know that 6:40 is the time we need for the puzzle. If I run around the other side of the dining room, there's going to be several more zombies all breaking through the windows. I think there's a couple of pickups around there, but not stuff that's essential. So the puzzle said 6:40. Stops you kind of guessing the answer every time. Although generally the clock is somewhere around that same time. It's not going to be something like crazy like dinner time being 3 in the morning, but it still just could be like 6:45 or it could be 7, that kind of thing. Gives us a cog. I can't remember where the second moon key. We use the moon key. It'll come back to me in a minute. But we use this cog in the main hall. That gives us the golden key. Now in my headphones there's one coming from down there, so I'm going to try and lead them in a big loop. I hope we've got enough room to get around them all. So one of the places to use the golden key is in a box or cabinet just here. Gives us a red book. So there's one there. Try and get around this one to save a bit of ammo. Ooh. Wow, bad idea. I'm not going to go into the courtyard just yet. Get to the courtyard through some, not those double doors I was just looking at, but some other double doors behind that staircase. What am I doing? I don't want to go just there yet. That's where we first encounter the zombie dogs. They are an absolute pain. What I do want to do though is to go out this door here. What I can do with just using up some keys first and then come back there, which is a bit inefficient in terms of journey planning. So I think that's the lighter. Got a lot of ammunition. There's also a lot of zombies between here and the kitchen. Here in the kitchen? I have no idea why I said that. I can't multitask. It's a fact. Here, and I think what I meant to say was my destination, probably.
When 900 years old you get, talk so good you will not.
It's a screenshot right there. I cannot remember which door it is to use the moon key. There we go. Gets rid of that one. Where? Oh, the other one. That was really silly of me. The other one is back this way through into the library. Oh. Plenty of ammo. I thought, why not? You know, if we're coming back and forward down this corridor a lot, we're on easy mode. We've got plenty of ammo. I may as well just use it. But it'd be a whole different ball game if we were on doing this on hard mode. So I mentioned the knife earlier. When I first started playing this through, I realised the knife was pretty overpowered, and although it takes up another slot in your inventory, I carried it everywhere I went. What I would tend to do is do focus, so you can't do focus shots on fixed camera mode, but you can wait for your targeting reticule to focus on over the shoulder mode. So I would do that once, twice on zombies' legs. The zombies' legs would break off, they'd be crawling along the floor, and then you could just stand in front of them and just finish them off with a knife. And I'd end up finishing the game 200 plus handgun bullets. But I don't fancy doing that, trying to do that here, because you can't focus your shots. You can't focus your shots at all, so it's kind of like done on a chance base, so you might get lucky and get the headshots like I was getting earlier. So I need to put this wolf's head, I think it's in here. I think. Yeah, let's go and get another one. Oh, it's a bit tight. They're alright when they're nice and slow like that. Suddenly they just go for that massive lunge where they gallop along. There's one right there. I'm trying to think what I do with that. I think I use that just out here. There is some healing that I want to get past this zombie. I'm honestly not being very efficient with my healing. I think it's round this way. I could just go back through that door there, couldn't I? She's there now. Let's go back this way. Hear the dogs down below. On over-the-shoulder mode, you can kind of shoot them from this balcony, I think. So I've been told. Oh yeah, there's a statue here. This hopefully gives me the blue book, I think. Yeah. So that is the answer to a puzzle later on. I'm pretty sure in 0.8 we didn't get that piece of paper. We had to find an actual plaque in-game where that was shown, rather than have something stay in your inventory you can refer back to. It's just there, right? The other way around. Did I see something on this table? It's just my light reflecting off it. And then back into the library. There is a lot of back and forth in this game, all the way out. Even towards the end, you are backing and forthing a lot. Whereas I tend to find with Res Evil games, there's a lot more back and forth and puzzle solving at the beginning, and then it becomes a bit more streamlined later on as the action takes over. So much so that I think Tendo Games removed some of the back and forth, some of the keys, because it became almost like a key hunt. There's a lot of keys. So this is where we've got to go outside, which I'm not looking forward to. Those are the zombie dogs. So I probably want to get some healing, actually. I think that zombie is deliberately weaker than the other zombies. He's technically the first one you meet. I've tried before on normal mode to take him out with just the knife. It is possible, but you gotta get lucky. I'm just going to pick this up because I want to start moving all my items to near the front door of the mansion. In a while we'll get the shotgun, and that's when we want to be conservative with our ammo. I'm going to drop that for now. I think I only need one item, actually. Just in case. shotgun. It's as good as you can imagine. You can decapitate zombies one hit. Best use is for shadow creatures, and later on cultists as well. Oh, I was about to turn and go around him. Should know better than that by now. Should know better. But you see why now I'm playing it on easy mode. I just couldn't find my gun for a second there. Yeah, I've got lazy with modern gaming. I mean, I started out in the 90s with tank controls, Res Evil 1 and 2. But of course, with you know, modern gaming and all that, did I pick up the note on the table on the bench? Yeah. Oh, I knew I should have taken that. I knew I unlocked the door earlier because I've got to go back to the statue now with that. But which we'll do in a bit. I'll do the courtyard first. Or may as well do it now. Actually, I've got an idea. Yeah, and you know, whilst a lot of purists say it is the way to play these kind of games, I've just got so used to mouse and keyboard. Like before I started up this channel, I lived in MMO RPGs, World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy 14, 11, Rift, Lord of the Rings Online, and just mouse and keyboard is just the way that I play now. So then when I started doing more Steam gaming, Res Evil, remakes, Tomb Raiders, etc. Yeah, I'm just comfortable with it. So I find, you know, I can't... If I was using a mouse, I could just go back and forth really quickly. I could dodge around things, I could juke things easily. You can't do that with tank controls. I think there is a door here. Yes, I will. And we are likely to get annihilated by the dogs. I think there's 3 of them. They're okay one-on-one. Oops. I think that knocks the other one off. That's the real one that we need. But also need to get something down here. Trying to sort of dodge him. Doesn't matter, we've got a full health kit. This kind of thing. Just gotta keep an eye on the health. I need to pick up that statue head. And then get back in, quick! Although I'm in the wrong side of the mansion now. Saying that. We can go round. We can go round. It's not a problem because I can drop that health kit off. And there's some ointment on that chair there. Just there. That you can apply to the bandages, it makes them stronger. So let's go and do the rest of it. might have to stop in a minute though. I have to go. But we will try and get to a decent point. I was hoping just to complete this part of the mansion first. But if not, we will do it in part 2. Just tack it onto the next part. Let me just check. Yes, so we can go up the stairs here. Up the ladder even, and we'll stick that statue where it needs to go. I didn't even know about this ladder until at least 4th time I played. Opens that secret passage. Which I will come back to on the way back. I'm just going to, while I'm up here, I'm going to go to use that statue, use the statue's head. Music's an interesting one in this game. You kind of expect it to be more haunting, but it's almost quite uplifting in places. A bit fantasy-like. Which is an interesting one as well, because when this game first came out, and it was... well, it's been out for quite a while, when it was the first in early access, I didn't join until 0.8, by which point it was nearly done. And I nearly didn't like the game. You know, I actually got... how to describe it? It's a weird one, right? Because the game is kind of... if you're watching it now, you don't know anything more about the game, you would easily think, great, this is a mansion full of zombies, it's something straight out of Resident Evil. That's amazing, that's scratching an itch. But this mixes genres later on to the point, literally, I was in some nether realm. You go to this like nether realm later on. Sorry, spoiler alert. And I felt I was in Cold Harbor from Elder Scrolls Online. I was traveling on these standing on these rocks over nothingness, over like a void, collecting spiritual essences from these shadow creatures and solving these magical glowing puzzles with while I'm out here. You know, mystical books full of crackling energy. You think, what? Am I still in the same game? And it took me a long time to kind of accept it for what it was. Say, you know what, I can see why they're trying to do it, but I still feel it's a weird mix. And how some people wouldn't like that. Is it still there? Yeah, I think I just heard the headshot. But yeah, so what they've decided to do now is, instead of taking you into that nether realm throughout this game, you have to go into it once as part of the initial plot. But other than that, it's blocked off unless you're doing New Game Plus when it's opened up for you. Interesting choice. Personally, I wouldn't have done that, but I just don't think zombie survival horror and fantasy should meet. But that's my personal opinion. So we've got 2 medallions now, and a crystal, which will allow us to escape the mansion for now. Go outside. plenty of ammo. Check the map a sec. So yeah, the map does show you where you've dropped items, those green dots. So I've just got to remember to pick those up. You can come back to them later. And you can also use a magical, that's another thing, a magical glowing box to retrieve them. But it's a little while until we get our sort of save room that has the item box in it. I think I dropped the lighter here, didn't I? Was it here? I might have been just further out. Yeah, it's there. So that's the knife. Sorry, a terrible memory. It says looking at memory. Yeah, so everything else is in the save room. Good, that's exactly where I wanted it to be. Now I've got to sort out this guy because he's right where I want him. Get around him now. So that's what I like to do on over the shoulder mode. Unless you literally walk over their heads, they won't get you. With the crystal and the 2 medallions, we can now get outside and go into the gardens, which is good. And then there's our first boss. So this makes a really good point to stop for now. So we'll just save it. There we go. Alright, so thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you on the next part. Stay safe.